Welcome to History Uncovered, where we delve into the stories and events that have shaped our world. If you're a fan of history, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. We release new videos every day, so you'll always have something new to discover. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when our latest episodes are released, and you'll be supporting us in our mission to bring fascinating stories from the past to a wider audience. In this episode, we journey back to the shimmering banks of the Nile, to the splendor and intrigue of ancient Egypt at its peak. We will be exploring the life and reign of one of its most celebrated pharaohs, a figure whose name is etched in stone and whose deeds have become the stuff of legend, Thutmose III. Thutmose, a name that resonates with power and ambition, a pharaoh who expanded the boundaries of Egypt further than any before him, establishing an empire that would be the envy of the ancient world. His reign, characterized by audacious military campaigns, monumental architectural wonders, and a flourishing of arts and culture, has left a profound imprint on the tapestry of history. From the majestic temples of Karnak to the distant battlefields of Megiddo, we will follow the path of this formidable ruler, sifting through centuries of tales and inscriptions to uncover the true essence of the man often hailed as the Napoleon of ancient Egypt. So, prepare yourself for a captivating voyage into the life of Thutmose III, the warrior pharaoh, a leader whose vision and tenacity transformed Egypt into an unparalleled empire under the sun. In the annals of ancient Egyptian history, names held power, revealing not just identity but also beliefs, aspirations, and affiliations. Thutmose III, a pharaoh whose reign left an indelible mark on the sands of time, bore two primary names that resonate with significance. The first, Mnprr, is commonly transcribed as Menkaper. This name translates to lasting is the manifestation of Ra, or the lasting one of the manifestation of Ra, a testament to the enduring power and influence of the sun god Ra in Egyptian culture. Interestingly, when the Greek historian Manetho chronicled the rulers of Egypt in his work, the Aegyptiaca, he referred to Thutmose III as Myphres and Misphramathosis. These Greek renditions of the pharaoh's name, as cited by Eusebius, offer a glimpse into how ancient cultures interpreted and adapted the names of foreign rulers, weaving them into their own linguistic tapestries. Thutmose's lineage and early life are deeply intertwined with the politics and dynamics of the Egyptian royal court. Born to Thutmose II and a secondary wife named Iset, Thutmose's direct connection to the throne was evident. However, the primary queen and the most influential figure at the time was Queen Hatshepsut, who was married to Thutmose II. From this union came Neferur, Thutmose III's half-sister. Upon the death of Thutmose II, the young Thutmose III was not of age to ascend to the throne and rule the vast Egyptian empire. This void of power paved the way for Hatshepsut, initially his regent, to step in. But her ambitions didn't stop at mere regency. Over time, she transitioned from being his co-regent to proclaiming herself the pharaoh. While she never denied Thutmose III his rightful title, the real power dynamics were clear. Hatshepsut held the reins of the empire, making significant strides in prosperity and advancements during her reign. Yet, as Thutmose III matured and showcased his capabilities, Hatshepsut recognized his potential and appointed him to lead her armies. The personal life of Thutmose, like many pharaohs, is a blend of political alliances and familial ties. Some scholars believe he might have married his half-sister, Neferur, though concrete evidence remains elusive. Speculations also suggest that Neferur could have been the mother of Thutmose's firstborn, Amenemhat. However, another narrative points to the great royal wife Satia as the mother of Amenemhat, who, unfortunately, died before his father. Thutmose's marital alliances extended beyond Egypt's borders. Records indicate he had at least 3 foreign wives, Menwi, Merti, and Menhet, all of whom were interred together. Another wife, Netu, is mentioned in inscriptions within Thutmose's tomb. After the passing of Satia, Meriter Hatshepsut rose to prominence as the great royal wife. She bore Thutmose several children, including the future pharaoh Amenhotep II, another son named Menkaper, and at least 4 daughters, Nebeshenet, 2 named Meridmen, and Iset. These relationships and alliances not only reflect Thutmose's personal life, but also the intricate web of politics and diplomacy in ancient Egypt. Thutmose's reign, spanning from 1479 BC to 1425 BC, is anchored in what is known as the low chronology of ancient Egypt. This dating system has been the standard in academic circles since the 1960s. However, it's worth noting that there's an alternative dating system, the high chronology of Egypt, which places Thutmose's reign slightly earlier, from 1504 BC to 1450 BC. The debate between these two chronologies stems from an astronomical event recorded during the reign of Amenhotep I, the heliacal rise of Sothis. This astronomical observation, documented on a papyrus from Amenhotep I's time, could potentially synchronize Egyptian chronology with our modern calendar. The challenge, however, lies in the details. For this synchronization to be accurate, the latitude at which the observation was made must be known. Unfortunately, the papyrus doesn't specify the observation's location. It's generally believed that it was either in a delta city, like Memphis or Heliopolis, or in Thebes. Depending on the latitude chosen, the dates can differ by 20 years, leading to the aforementioned high and low chronologies. Remarkably, the exact duration of Thutmose's reign is known down to the day, thanks to inscriptions found in the tomb of a military commander named Amenemheb-Mahu. He documented Thutmose's death in the pharaoh's 54th regnal year, on the 30th day of the third month of Parat. Furthermore, Thutmose's accession to the throne is recorded as Ishemu Day 4. Using astronomical data, scholars have pinpointed the exact dates of Thutmose III's reign as starting on April 28, 1479 BC and ending on March 11, 1425 BC. Thurmose was a pharaoh of unparalleled military prowess, leading at least 16 campaigns over a span of 20 years. The esteemed American Egyptologist, James Breasted, aptly dubbed him the Napoleon of Egypt in recognition of his vast conquests and expansionist vision. Historical records credit Thurmose with the capture of an astounding 350 cities during his reign, extending Egypt's influence across the Near East, from the Euphrates to Nubia. Notably, he was the first pharaoh since Thutmose I to venture across the Euphrates, marking a significant milestone during his campaign against Mitanni. The walls of the Temple of Amun at Karnak bear testament to his military feats, with detailed campaign records inscribed for posterity. Under Thurmose's leadership, Egypt rose to unparalleled heights, evolving into an international superpower. His empire spanned vast territories, from the Asian regions of Syria in the north to Upper Nubia in the south. Our understanding of Thurmose the warrior is enriched not only by his military accomplishments, but also through the writings of his royal scribe and army commander, Thanyani. This trusted aide chronicled the pharaoh's conquests and reign, providing invaluable insights into the era. A significant factor in Thurmose's sweeping victories was the evolution of military technology. The Hyksos, around 1650 BC, possibly introduced advanced weaponry to Egypt, including the game-changing horse-drawn chariots. As Egyptians drove the Hyksos out, they adopted and mastered these weapons, giving Thurmose a distinct advantage. With neighboring kingdoms offering minimal resistance, Thurmose's influence expanded rapidly. His innovative military strategies even included transporting boats over dry land, showcasing the versatility and adaptability of his army. Upon the death of Hatshepsut on the 10th day of the 6th month in Thurmose's 21st year, as recorded on a stela from Armant, the king of Kadesh swiftly advanced his army towards Megiddo. Responding to this threat, Thurmose assembled his forces and set forth from Egypt, crossing the border fortress of Charu on the 25th day of the 8th month. His march led him through the coastal plain up to Jamnia, and then inland to Yeum, a city near Megiddo. By the middle of the 9th month, he was poised for what would become perhaps the most significant battle of his reign, the Battle of Megiddo. The geography posed a strategic challenge. A mountain ridge extending from Mount Carmel stood between Thurmose and his objective, Megiddo. He had three potential routes: two safer paths that circumvented the mountain, and a treacherous one through the Aruna mountain pass. His council of war recommended the safer routes. However, in a bold move, Thurmose chose the dangerous mountain pass, describing it as so narrow that the army could only traverse it horse after horse and man after man. While Thurmose's records might embellish the narrowness of the pass, it does exist, and his decision to take it was a masterstroke. Emerging from the pass, his army found itself on the plain of Esdraelon, perfectly positioned between the Canaanite forces and Megiddo. Surprisingly, the Canaanites did not engage the Egyptians immediately, allowing Thurmose' forces to rout them decisively. Estimates suggest both armies might have had around 10,000 men, though many believe the Egyptians had superior numbers. Thurmose' annals, inscribed in the Temple of Amun at Karnak, date the battle as year 23, Ishimu 21, which aligns with May 9, 1457 BC, considering Thurmose' accession in 1479 BC. After the battle, while his forces were preoccupied with plunder, the enemy retreated into Megiddo. This led Thurmose to lay siege to the city, which, after 7 or 8 months, he successfully captured. This victory at Megiddo reshaped the political landscape of the ancient Near East. Thurmose's control extended over northern Canaan, and Syrian princes found themselves compelled to send tribute and even their sons as hostages to Egypt. Kings from Assyria, Babylon, and the Hittites sent gifts to Thurmose, which he proudly labeled as tribute on the walls of Karnak. Notably absent from these tributes was Mitanni, a kingdom that would soon feel the weight of Egypt's subsequent campaigns into Western Asia. Thurmose's subsequent campaigns, specifically his second, third, and fourth, seem to have been more diplomatic in nature rather than military conquests. These expeditions primarily revolved around tours of Syria and Canaan, with the main objective being the collection of tribute. Traditionally, the records following the account of Thurmose's first campaign have been interpreted as detailing his second campaign. These texts describe the collection of tribute from the region the Egyptians termed Reginu, which roughly corresponds to modern-day Canaan. Interestingly, during this period, even the distant Assyria sent what was described as a tribute to Thurmose. However, some scholars believe that these records might pertain to events from Thurmose's 40th year or later, suggesting they might not be related to the second campaign at all. If this is the case, then no specific records detailing the second campaign have been discovered. Thurmose's third campaign, for reasons unknown, didn't earn a mention in his comprehensive annals at Karnak, which otherwise detailed his reign extensively. However, during this period, a unique endeavor was undertaken, a detailed survey of the fauna and flora of Canaan. This survey, dated to Thurmose's 25th year, was artistically represented on the walls of a dedicated room in Karnak. As for Thurmose's fourth campaign, concrete records are scarce. However, certain activities from this period provide hints about its nature. A fortification was established in Lower Lebanon, and timber was harvested for the construction of a processional bark. Given the timeline, these activities are believed to align with the period of the fourth campaign. Thurmose's fifth, sixth, and seventh campaigns were primarily focused on the Phoenician cities in Syria and the strategic city of Kadesh on the Euphrates River. In his 29th year, Thurmose embarked on his fifth campaign. He began by capturing an unidentified city previously garrisoned by Tunip. The city's name remains a mystery due to a gap in the historical records. Pushing further inland, he seized the city and surrounding territories of Ardata. While the city faced plunder, its wheat fields were set ablaze. In a departure from his earlier campaigns, which were more raid-like in nature, Thurmose established garrisons in the region known as Jahi, likely referring to southern Syria. This strategic move allowed him to facilitate the movement of supplies and troops between Syria and Egypt. Some historians speculate that Thurmose's sixth campaign, in his 30th year, might have started with a naval deployment of troops directly to Byblos, effectively avoiding Canaan. Once the troops were in Syria, they ventured into the Jordan River Valley, moving northward and ravaging the territories of Kadesh. Turning his attention westward, Thurmose captured Simera and suppressed another uprising in Ardata. To deter future rebellions, Thurmose adopted a strategy of taking hostages from key Syrian cities. By holding family members of the elite often aligned with Mitanni and comprising of a king and a few foreign Marianu, Thurmose could ensure their allegiance to him. However, Syria's spirit of resistance was not easily quelled. In Thurmose's 31st year, another rebellion flared up, prompting his seventh campaign. He swiftly captured the port city of Alaza, subdued other smaller Phoenician ports, and implemented further measures to prevent uprisings. Thurmose' strategy also involved economic control. He stored all surplus grain from Syria in the harbors he had conquered, ensuring it supported the Egyptian military and administrative presence in Syria. This move, while bolstering Egyptian control, left the Syrian cities economically crippled, making it nearly impossible for them to fund any subsequent rebellions. Thurmose' eighth campaign marked a significant shift in his military strategy. With the Syrian cities under his control, his sights turned towards Mitanni, a Hurrian nation governed by an Indo-Aryan elite. However, reaching Mitanni presented a formidable challenge, crossing the mighty Euphrates River. Thurmose' approach was both strategic and audacious. He sailed directly to Byblos, where he constructed boats. These vessels were then transported overland, camouflaging his true intent under the guise of another Syrian tour. As he journeyed north, he continued his pattern of raiding and pillaging territories, even those he had previously conquered. Pushing further north, he traversed territories of the yet unconquered cities of Aleppo and Carchemish. With swift precision, Thurmose and his forces crossed the Euphrates using their boats, catching the king of Mitanni completely off guard. The element of surprise was on Thurmose' side. Mitanni, seemingly unprepared for an invasion, had no standing army ready to counter the Egyptian pharaoh. While they attempted to resist the Egyptian river crossing with their ships, their efforts were in vain. Thurmose, unopposed, moved from one Mitannian city to another, plundering them. The Egyptian records, likely with a touch of propaganda, depict the nobles of these cities hiding in caves while their lands were ransacked. In a symbolic gesture of dominance, Thurmose erected a stele commemorating his Euphrates crossing, placing it beside the stele of his grandfather, Thutmose I. Eventually, the Mitannians mustered a militia to repel the invaders, but their efforts were futile against the seasoned Egyptian forces. On his return journey to Syria, Thurmose stopped at Nye, where he indulged in an elephant hunt, a testament to his regal prowess. Collecting tribute from various foreign entities, Thurmose returned to Egypt, marking yet another victorious campaign. Thurmose's military campaigns in Syria continued to shape the geopolitical landscape of the region. His ninth campaign, conducted in his 34th year, targeted Nukash, a territory inhabited by semi-nomadic tribes. The limited spoils from this expedition suggest it was a minor raid. However, his 10th campaign, in his 35th year, was more intense. The Mitannian king had amassed a significant army, leading to a confrontation near Aleppo. While Thurmose's records boast of a decisive victory, the evidence, notably the minimal number of prisoners taken, suggests a less clear-cut outcome. Nevertheless, the subsequent tribute from the Hittites implies that Thurmose had the upper hand. Details of Thurmose's 11th and 12th campaigns remain elusive. The 11th is believed to have occurred in his 36th year, and the 12th in his 37th, based on the mention of his 13th campaign in his 38th year at Karnak. Some remnants of the tribute list from his 12th campaign hint at a possible expedition to the Nukash steppe, but this remains speculative. Thurmose's 13th campaign saw another minor foray into Nukash. His 14th campaign, in his 39th year, targeted the Shesu, a nomadic group whose exact location remains uncertain, ranging from Lebanon to the Transjordan or even Edom. Subsequent campaigns are less clearly documented. In his 40th year, tribute was collected from various foreign entities, but it's unclear if this was a formal campaign led by Thurmose or an official. Another campaign, likely another raid around Nye, is only evidenced by its tribute list. Thurmose's final campaign in Asia was more definitive. Before his 42nd year, Mitanni seemed to be fomenting rebellion among Syria's major cities. Responding swiftly, Thurmose marched his troops up the coastal road, quelling revolts in the Arka plain and advancing to Tunip. He then shifted his focus to Kadesh, decimating 3 Mitannian garrisons in the vicinity. While he did not capture Kadesh, and the loyalty of Tunip was likely short-lived, this campaign had a lasting impact. Notably, subsequent tribute lists included Adana, a city in Cilicia, showcasing the expanding influence of Thurmose's reign. In his 50th regnal year, Thurmose embarked on what would be his final military campaign. This time, he turned his attention southward, targeting Nubia. His forces advanced as far as the fourth cataract of the Nile, marking the furthest point any Egyptian king had ventured with an army. However, it's worth noting that the influence of Egyptian culture had already reached this region prior to Thurmose's campaign. In fact, the earliest Egyptian document discovered at Gebel Barkal predates Thurmose's expedition by 3 years, suggesting that while his military campaign was groundbreaking, the cultural expansion had preceded his conquest. Thurmose's final resting place, Tomb KV-34, located in the Valley of the Kings, stands as a testament to the pharaoh's legacy and the funerary practices of the 18th dynasty. Discovered by Victor Loret in 1898, the tomb's design is emblematic of the era, characterized by a distinctive turn at the vestibule leading to the burial chamber. The tomb's architecture includes 2 stairways and corridors that lead to a vestibule, which is preceded by a quadrangular shaft or well. One of the tomb's most significant features is the complete version of the Amduat, a pivotal funerary text from the New Kingdom, found in the vestibule. This discovery marked the first instance where the full text was found in a tomb. The burial chamber itself, supported by 2 pillars, boasts an oval shape with a starry ceiling, symbolizing the deity Soker's cave. Dominating the chamber is a large red quartzite sarcophagus, fashioned in the shape of a cartouche. The pillars within the chamber are adorned with passages from the litanies of Re, a hymn praising the sun deity, who, during this period, was equated with the pharaoh. Another remarkable depiction on a pillar showcases Thutmose being nurtured by the goddess Isis, who takes the form of a tree. The tomb's wall decorations are distinctively understated, designed in a diagrammatic style that mirrors the cursive script typically found on funerary papyri. The color palette is muted, with simple black figures paired with text on a cream backdrop, accentuated with touches of red and pink. These illustrations portray Thurmose assisting the deities in vanquishing Apep, the chaos serpent, ensuring the sun's daily rebirth and the pharaoh's own resurrection. As per the American Egyptologist Peter de Manulian, a declaration in the tomb biography of an official named Amenemheb confirms that Thurmose III passed away in his 54th regnal year, specifically on the 3rd Parate Day 30. He reigned over Egypt for 53 years, 10 months, and 26 days. Deducting the co-regencies with Hatshepsut and Amenhotep II, Thurmose's solo reign as pharaoh spanned just over 30 years. Thank you for watching this episode of History Uncovered. We've journeyed through the life and campaigns of Thurmose, a pharaoh whose legacy shaped the course of ancient Egypt and its neighboring territories. His military strategies, architectural marvels, and the intricacies of his tomb provide a captivating glimpse into the world of the 18th dynasty. If you found this video informative and engaging, please like and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from the past. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so that you never miss a new video. Until next time, keep uncovering the stories that have shaped our world.